Really, Netflix, you couldn't help yourself with placing a stupid joke twice about anti-capitalism in this episode. Like, the audacity to crap on capitalism when it was capitalism that built you in the first place. Only a small lead up to this review. Hit those like, subscribe, and notifications bell buttons to stay up to date with my latest videos throughout the week. And with that said, let's talk. Alright, for this video, we're going straight to the point. Just my thoughts on the conclusion of Stranger Things 5 Volume 3. Yeah. On the one hand, I'm glad the show is finally over. I'm relieved. Yes, good, well said and done. I think 10 years waiting for answers in a general sense is long enough. The Upside Down being a bridge between two worlds and the reanimated Mind Flayer was absolutely cool. The look of the Abyss was desolate and mysterious enough. It did its job. It looked cool. But on the other hand, after everything was said and done, at the end of the episode, I felt quite unsatisfied with the turnout of this season entirely. Between all three volumes, the show felt different whether to stick with the horror aspect or stay with the action. And because of that, for me, at least there was no sense of danger or unpredictability around the characters. Fake outs felt cheap with Steve and Dustin's close calls. Vecna with his origins expanded greatly humanized him, which he lost all of his aura compared to the last season, which as I think about it now was very disappointing. And I want to talk about that real quick. If you as a writer, storyteller, and you make a villain, you make him or her deplorable to say the least. Make them a great and difficult challenge for the main characters throughout the story, pushing them through physical, emotional, intellectual, ideological, even psychological and spiritual battles. A villain has to be relentless in their pursuit of power, an unstoppable force that could destroy anything in their path past the point of redemption. When you show a villain who is misunderstood or their motives were in the right place, quote unquote, what happens is that as a writer you diminish the level of threat your villain could potentially be and would be forgotten in the cultural impact of your story. Case in point, who remembers Ghost from Ant-Man 2? Or Taskmaster from Black Widow? On the flip side, if a villain is intended to show a glimpse of redemption, then naturally through the course of the story, they are shown either questioning their motives or even making a choice of a sacrifice at the climax, like Vegeta's final atonement, or even the ever iconic Darth Vader sacrificing himself to save his son from the wrath of Palpatine. So moving on, we have other factors to consider that ruffled my mind processing this season. Linda Hamilton, who portrayed Dr. K, was heavily promoted in the promotional material synonymous to Season 5 because of her iconic 1980s portrayal of Sarah Connor from the Terminator movies, and her main focus was to get L, or 11, for the US military to recreate the program that created all those psychic kids to begin with that L was part of. Okay, cool. A little cat and mouse action to add tension and possible consequences, but after the main gate closes and she saw 11 standing there at the main gate, or where it once stood, what was the conclusion? You mean to tell me that the military set up two bases between the right side up and the upside down to find their objective and it just went all the way when they failed? I'm saying all this from my perspective of the show, and I could go on and on sharing my dissatisfaction. But this is part of the reason why there is a huge disappointment with the fallout of the show. Fans are divided, to say the least. The Duffer Brothers go out of their way and say that Vecna was not expecting anybody to go into the abyss. Well, you mean to tell me the same Vecna that went out of his way to meticulously plan to annihilate 4 people in the last season to go about making these rifts and create this super gate? You mean to tell me the same villain just wasn't expecting this same group of people to go up in there into his crib and like mess up the place? What? Or how about this? How did Mrs. Wheeler plant that hydrogen tank in the dryer without being heard by the demodogs in the hospital? Like, seriously. So honestly, I'm already over at this point, and with this video, I wasn't sure at first exactly how to share these thoughts, so my final say for Stranger Things 5 is that it's a disappointment. The whole thing felt rushed and no true payoff of Element's first place, and with that said, I open the conversation to you in the comments down below. I know I'm a bit late with this review, and I do apologize for that, But I thank you once again for your time and attention, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.